Hi folks, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and it's Wee Wednesday again today. And today I've got two knives for you. This is the Sanrenmu 4025. It comes as a Bowie backlock with a cool little ant motif on the front. Or you can get it with these swirly lines. It looks kind of floral patterny for, I guess, more of a female kind of pattern as a drop point. You get a Bowie with a hollow grind or a drop point with a full flat grind. So two very different blades, but it's the same base model number, 4025, BBC-SA. Yeah, I got it right. BBC-SA and BUC-SA. So very much the same knife, except for the actual grind and the shape of the blade there. They're both backlocks. The handles are exactly the same size and dimensions, just a slightly different engraving on there. And that's why I'm including both of these today. They did not come with the split rings. I put those on instead of lanyards. There's no pocket clips or anything. These are excellent knives to either drop in your purse, man purse, lady purse, what have you. Even in a wallet, you could fit this in there, no problem. Or the way I usually carry this is in a keychain, or stash them in a glove box, or a dashboard console hole or something, something so it's handy. These knives are very, very convenient. No, I don't recommend that this is your main EDC knife. I'm not that kind of silly, but it's a very good secondary choice to have around, and something that you have just in case you can't have something bigger with you. And both of these are made very well, and I'd like to tell you more about them, so stick around. I'm glad I got both of these knives because although they are similar in a lot of ways, they're different in those significant ways on the blade as well. And so that might make you take the decision to get one or the other one, depending on what you prefer on, the blade. Of course, the handle being the same on both of them. What we've got for the blade is 8CR13 MOV, standard budget Chinese steel. 57 Rockwell hardness roughly. But Sanrenmu does a really good job with their 8CR13. It's certainly an adequate steel on a knife this size, and I find it to be an adequate steel on larger knives as well. They just do a good job with it. It's a good steel. Certainly it's not up there with premium steels or even medium grade steels in terms of modern steels, but 50 years ago, this exact steel, if you got this 50 years ago, you would say it's a premium steel. That's how much blade steel has changed in the last 50 years. And of course, some people might disagree with me a little bit, but maybe go to 75 years and metallurgy has changed definitely that much in 75 years. That being said, let's talk about the similarities and differences of this knife. I already talked about the steel. It's a stainless steel body, satin finish. This one has got some kind of gold paint kind of whatever inside the pattern that you can see. It hasn't wore off everywhere. You can see it a little bit in that pattern right there, that sort of floral type of pattern, whatever that is. And this one here, for some reason, they're calling it a spider at GearBest, but with 6 legs, it's not a spider. And with a body shape like that, I'm calling it an ant. It looks like an ant to me. Dead ant. Dead ant. That's what Pink Panther said when he stepped on the ant. Dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant. Hey, oh, well, I'm just feeling weird today. Let's keep on talking about these knives. So stainless steel handles, backlock, the backlock spring, you push in with your thumb. It's not super easy to press that in, partly because of its sizes and dimensions and everything. The drop point one is just slightly easier to push down than the other one. That could be the fact that this Bowie one is a little bit newer to me. I've had this floral one for about 6 months, and I've had this guy for about 3 weeks. And that could explain, that it's just going to smooth out a little bit over time. But it's pretty good. Locks up solid. There's a tiny bit side-to-side blade play on the Bowie version, and it's nice and snug on the other one. Nothing up and down on either one of them, just that slight side-to-side on the Bowie. Lockup is solid, looks good. So it's not perfect fit and finish here. You can see a little bit of space right there on the back of the Bowie one behind the lock. Same thing on the other one. Just a slight bit of space right there. But decent construction. They're held together with pins, so it's the pins and it's been sanded down, so you can't even see where the pins are. So you're not going to take this knife apart. You're not going to remedy this little slight side-to-side action. You're going to replace it if you need to. At this price, it's just not worth it to try to take it apart and fix it. It's just what it is. You got a nail nick further back, of course, on the Bowie than it is on the full flat. But they're both easy enough to get out. I just pinch and grab. I don't use the nail nick. And that works on both of them. Just pinch and grab and open it up, and it works just fine. Okay, so we've got the similarities and differences. I've already talked about the blade shape. That's where the differences are. Similarities on everything else. Of course, there's going to be washers inside there, or maybe there's no washers and it's just steel on steel. And with this kind of sliding, it works just fine. The back spring also acts as the detent. You can see that and hear how much force that it holds it with. And that's not bad at all. Let's get that out of the way. The only thing to watch out for if you're going to use the split rings like I did on these ones is letting the split ring come over like that when you go to close it. You're going to chip your blade if you let that happen. So if you choose to do it this way, you're going to have to be careful of that. The reason I do the split ring thing is because of the keychain method that I use. Those of you who watch my channel regularly know that I've got a keychain system that looks like this. And I use these small little carabiners to hold on to my knives. I just click it on there, and then my keychain is holding my knife safe, secure. But when I want to use the knife, I don't have to lug my keys around with me. I can just take the knife out, use the knife for what I want to do, and when I'm all done, I close it up and I put it back on my keychain, clickety-click, lickety-split, and off I go. These carabiner clips are cheap. This ring here, they call this a UFO keychain ring. They're just a few dollars at GearBest, and you can get them, and then you've got a keychain system that just works phenomenally well. At least I believe it works phenomenally well, and it certainly does for me. So there you go. There's that. Let's talk about the sizes of the cutting edge and the blades and everything, because they are slightly different one from the other. And whenever I talk about two sizes, the differences, I'm going to be talking about the Bowie first and the drop point second, just so that you know. Cutting edge is the same on both of these, 4.4 centimeters, 1.7 inches. The blade length, the Bowie is 5 centimeters long, 1.97 inches. The drop point's 4.8 centimeters. That's 1.89 inches. The blade thickness is the same on both of these. It's 2.05 millimeters. And in inches, that's 0.0805. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, even though this is a hollow grind and this is a full flat grind, they came out almost identical. And so I'm just going to call them both 0.5 millimeters, which is 0.02 inches, which is a very good thickness behind the grind for a little knife this size. It could be a little bit thinner and it would be able to do a few more delicate jobs, but with this thickness of 0.5 millimeters, that's a strong edge, and it's going to do an awful lot of your small versions of EDC tasks. The handle length is the same on both of these, 6.5 centimeters, which is 2.55 inches. Grip is the same on both, 5.75 centimeters, 2.27 inches. The handle thickness is the same on both, 6.3 millimeters, which is 1/4 of an inch. And the total length when it's open, The Bowie is slightly longer at around 11.5 centimeters, 4.5 inches, and this guy's about 11.3 centimeters, which is about 4.4 inches. The weight of these knives, they're both the same, 39 grams, 1.4 ounces each. Right now, the Bowie is on a special for about one more day. It's Wee Wednesday today. Probably by the end of Wednesday, this sale's going to be over. So if you're watching this the day it gets released and you want the Bowie, get over to GearBest right away and get it. I will have the links to purchase in the description below the video, just above the comments, but below the video, you can see all the text that I write out. A lot of reviewers don't put anything in that space, but I always put my links to so you can buy these knives in there, and I put other description information as well. The sale price for the Bowie right now is $4.99 US, which is $6.24 Canadian dollars. In euros, it's 4.24, and in UK pounds, it's 3.76. The normal price, and that's what the drop point is at, is $6.12 US, $6.12 US, $7.66 Canadian, euros 5.2 euros, and in UK pounds 4.61 pounds. So basically the rest of the comments of this thing is how do I like it, fit and finish, stuff like that. The fit and finish is pretty good, not excellent, but it's good. And for what it is and for its price point, it's just fine. No problems there. How well it functions, the motion and everything, how good the backlock holds and everything, it's all totally adequate and it's good. They even put sharpener's choils on these knives, which is hard to believe. On something at this low budget price, they still put in a little sharpener's choil right there where my thumbnail is. Just so that when you go to sharpen it, you're not going to go messing up the ricasso. And I don't find any significant cons with these knives at all. Even that lanyard hole is big enough for paracord if you wanted to put some paracord through there. Other pros and cons, I don't really think there are much. It's a decent knife for a decent price. If you need something this size, it's a really, really good choice. Especially for you ladies to drop in your purse. You know, it doesn't take up a lot of space. It doesn't add a lot of weight because I know you got limited weight and space in there. And for on keychains, it's a very good choice for that. And, you know, I've carried both of these on my keychains because I've had this guy like for 6 months. And, you know, I didn't mind having that little bit of decorative on there because I really do like a full flat grind. It's really nice. And this thing cuts really well. Oh, you probably want to see how these things cut. Okay, let's do a little bit of cut tests. Let's grab some paracord. 2 strands of paracord. Zips right through that, no problem. And let's do that again on this guy. Get that held. 2 strands of paracord on this Bowie. Same thing. Cuts through very well. How well does it cut paper? Well, let's try some paper. And the other guy, yeah, cuts really good with a push cut. No problem at all there. Let's do some other cut tests. You know, if you want to cut through that way, see it cuts through the paracord just fine. And the Bowie just as well, no problem at all. It's a good little knife that does a good job. Great for EDC, great for where you have people that are scared of knives. I guess a lot of people in the knife community call them sheeple. It's a slightly derogatory term, but I know why people use it. But it's a nice knife that doesn't scare people off. It's a little bit too small, probably to cut up your lunch if you want to cut up an apple or something. This tiny little guy with the Bowie, I just really like Bowies, especially if you needed to do a tiny bit of self-defense. You know, it can do a fair bit of a job. We've all heard of stories of what people have done with tiny little knives, and so it certainly is a whole lot better than nothing if you've got something like this in your hand. A decent purchase, great price for these. They look good, and they are easy to use. Backlocks are nice and secure. Unfortunately, some people live in countries where you can only have slip joints. Sanrenmu's got a lot of slip joints, though, so you can look through my channel, look at some other reviews of some slip joints. and I'll be doing more slip joint reviews fairly soon. So there you have it. The Sanrenmu 4025 looks nice, works nice. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do have a big giveaway going on, so if you haven't seen my giveaway video, click on my channel link, click on the subscribe button, click on that bell so you'll be notified of every video, and then go to my main channel and do a search for the word giveaway, and you'll see a giveaway that I've got going right now. You can win a knife that's worth $100 retail. Yep, $100. Or some knives that are worth a bit less than $100. You could win one of those too. There's going to be at least 3 winners, maybe even 4. And I'm just excited about doing a giveaway. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and remember to always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.